So ETH, let's take a look at ETH real quick. All right. Our precious ETH, the one that's going to determine how rich we become. So ETH, this was our spot to die on ETH. Okay. This was it right here. And then this right here. Bull stepped in. So if we were going to break down, it was yesterday or this morning. Okay. And we didn't break down. So that's why I'm very confident that ETH, because it's continued to hold this level, this range, we're going to pump higher into February and March. You see us making a nice move up to the upside. We're going to see how far this goes up before we get a little retracement. It's not going to be straight up. This is why I'm also waiting for the February open before I'd make any new leverage plays, because you're going to see them. It's going to do something like this. We're either going to come up and retest the range high and then come back down to the mid range, which is where I would be looking to open up any kind of new positioning. Or we could even do something like this and really fuck people up and kind of go like that, right? Retest the mid range, come back down one more time, like first week of February before we start ripping face. So I would expect something like that to happen. Either way, though, we haven't broken down from this range, so I don't believe it's going to break down at this point. They've had enough tries to break it down. They have enough tries to shoot us down lower. The important piece of confidence that we have is if Bitcoin goes higher, ETH is not going to go down. So for Bitcoin to look as good as it looks and Ethereum to still not have broken down from this range, it's over for bears because Bitcoin is going to move higher, therefore Ethereum can't break down anymore. The time for Ethereum to break down passed. I believe this goes higher too. So it just depends on how they're going to draw the structure before they shoot us up. But that's what I would look for on ETH. Okay. You got anything on ETH?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be, I don't think it's going to go below range lows again. I mean, if it does, it might retest the lows. I don't think it's going to break down any lower than that. So yeah, it's just going to be a matter of seeing what happens here over the next 7 to 10 days, seeing if, we can break out of this range through the first week of February. I think you're probably right, especially with the trend you've seen over the past 6 to 8 months of what we tend to do off of monthly opens. So I'd say we're probably going to stay in this range. It's going to be one of the two options, like you just said. We're either going to retest the mid range, retest the range lows, and then send after the first 5 to 7 days of February, or we're just going to keep going up through the weekend, probably retest and interact with range highs a little bit. And then the first week of February, we'll be moving up out of the range. And hopefully after the first week of February, be back up close to 4,000. That'd be beautiful. And then the second week of February, finally break through that glass ceiling that's been on ETH since, I don't even know when. When's the last time ETH was above 4,000? I mean, really
Last
above
cycle.
4,000.
Last cycle. Literally last cycle 4 years ago.
Yeah, so 2021, spring of 2021.
Yeah. The last time ETH was above would have been, yeah, like over here. So, I mean, yeah, literally here. I mean, this would have been the last time when it broke through the first time.
October, November 2021. So it's like we draw a lot of different ranges and a lot of different accumulation ranges on Ethereum. We've used like all of 2024 was a big accumulation range. But yeah, when you zoom out on the chart, you see that ETH has been in an accumulation range really for 4 years.
Yep.
So yeah, when you see World Liberty buying, hundreds of millions of dollars of Ethereum, they're not even buying normal Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin wrapped with Ethereum on the Ethereum network. So yeah, I mean, the stage is getting set for something. And I can't imagine it's for anything else than ETH going down to new all-time highs at the minimum. So can you draw the fibs for this big range that's been going on since 2021, and then the fib range for the range we've been in since like February, March of 2024?
Yes, let's do that. Let's take a look at that. I've drawn that out before too, because I have cycle targets again for the guys inside of the private crypto plays so that they know where we're going to start selling all of our boys club and our Ethereum beta once we're up 10, 15, 20x. So let's give them a little preliminary targets. So let's throw this in log, okay? So I'm going to throw this in log because the range in log looks fantastic on Ethereum. So quite literally a 4-year reaccumulation range. So if we take the fibs like that, so this is a little deviation right here. We could even do more like this, actually. Let's do it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the range right there. Yeah, because you see, we have all this interaction with the top of the range, which is right about 4,000. The first time, rejected. Second time, rejected. This time was the only time we actually broke through, and that was a cycle top. Came all the way back down to range lows, perfectly testing the range low. Mid-range interaction right here, right there. And 1, 2, 3 taps at 4K again. So what do you guys think is going to happen whenever Ethereum finally breaks out of this 4K number and then obviously goes past all-time highs? We're going to fucking shoot. So the first fib on ETH would be 9,000. So this is where, let's see, we're in law, yeah. So then you said you want this range right here too, fibs?
Yeah, the range that started in like February, March
Of this year.
2024.
Yeah. All right, let's do that. So you've got some confluence. Do we? Not really. So the local top on this range, on the last site or this cycle, excuse me, the 1.618 would be at 6K. So I bet you we would probably get a little interaction there. Pause for a moment there, probably in May, or excuse me, in March or April as Bitcoin does its first top. And then I bet you by May, June, the same way that we had had that little mini alt season last year, we could probably come up somewhere near 9K.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would make sense considering last cycle what happened. I mean, if you're including the entire range since 2021, it's probably going to be a little bit of a better indicator of cycle top rather than the first top that we see on Ethereum earlier in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think the first target being 6,000 is definitely reasonable. To see that, because that's a 2x, a little bit less than a 2x from where we're at right now. See that either in like March, April, and then see the second top around 9,000 in like end of May, beginning of June. Or, I think the other alternative would be we see 6,000 in like May, June time. That's the first year or the first top of the cycle in 2025. And then towards the end of the year, like October, November, if people think it's going to play out similar to 2021, October, November, we see it pump again up to around 9,000.
Right.
And then top out there, and then we go away forever.
And that's what's so crazy about this too, is that's such a conservative target, because that would mean this Q1, Q2, we would only make it. Let's see. Oh, I should have that same down below. Okay, price range. I'm going to add that. So that means we would only make it from the previous all-time high up to 24% higher than the previous all-time high this year. This Q1, Q2. That would actually be outrageously conservative and bearish, which is why you should be so bullish on the Boys Club memes and what we're holding, because if we get a 2x from Ethereum from here, which would just mean this first fib, if we only get a 2x from Ethereum, that means Pepe is going to do a minimum of 6x, okay? Because this is exactly what the data is. They're levered Ethereum. Pepe would do a 6x. Andy and Wolf would do a 3 to 4x of that, which means they would do 18 to 20x. 18 to like 24x. Think about that. That would be only if ETH goes to 6,000. You're getting a 6x on Pepe, and you're going to get an 18 to 24x on Andy and Wolf. That's the data. That's exactly how levered they are compared to Ethereum. So that's conservative. I really believe that this is certainly in play, because this would only be, it's not even a 2x from the previous cycle all-time high. Bitcoin is already going to do a 2x from its previous cycle all-time high. It's about to at 120K, 130K. Bitcoin does 2x from previous cycle all-time high. If Ethereum can't do a 2x from its previous cycle all-time high as a smaller asset that's way more movable, that would be embarrassing. So 9K, though it sounds crazy right now because we're just so used to ETH being a piece of shit, it's really not crazy. 9K ETH should certainly be in the cards for this Q1, Q2, which is, even to myself saying that, it's like, what? That's insane. I can't believe that's going to happen. But it should. Like, that really should. If you look at Bitcoin, previous cycle all-time high was 65, 70K. So that would be 130 to 140K. And we should be there between March and April. So that's a 2x from its previous all-time high. That's not even a 2x 9K. So yeah, I'm super bulled up on ETH. This is a 4 or 5 year reaccumulation range. When this shit breaks out, it's not going to be a small move. This shit's going to fucking send. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think to the 1618 of the current range, which is, about 6,000. I mean, if you compare it to just what the previous range highs have been, around 4,000, that's another 33% move from current range highs. So, I mean, you guys have seen this morning already, ETH's up 5-6%. Andy and Landwolf are up 20+% off a 6% move. So, I mean, that's another 2x from where Ethereum's at right now. It's like if you're getting 3 to 4x moves compared to what Ethereum's moving, it's like, what do you think is going to happen whenever ETH goes up another 100% from here? It's like you're doing, a minimum of 4 to 5x on those assets just if ETH gets to 6,000, which you said is 22% above previous all-time highs, which is nothing.
Nothing.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's set up beautifully. It's just going to be a matter of seeing what happens after the monthly open. I think these next 2 days, like you said, too, going into the weekend here, we're going to get a pretty good indication of what we're probably going to see on Monday and Tuesday of this upcoming week. And then, yeah, after the first week of February's passed, I don't think it really matters, what Ethereum does over the next week, what the altcoins do over the next week. I think it's kind of inevitable that after the first week of February, we're definitely going a lot higher.